Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of A Coffee with Chris, the social media show that helps you create impact. As always, brought to you in association with our lovely, fantastic, inspirational charity partners, Big C, who help local people affected by cancer. Our guest today has got a link to them. And Blue Bear Coffee, replacing your business's coffee to help children that have experienced human trafficking. Today, I have been sipping, as always, probably too much, in fact, on their Indonesia blend, which is absolutely delicious. So if you are a local business, make sure that you're giving your team Blue Bear Coffee. Of course, as always, this show is also proudly sponsored by Oliver Hill, Limitless Film and Media, Mindset HR, and Wingfield Consultants. That's the formalities. Let's welcome today's guest. Delighted to bring along partner and dispute resolution solicitor at House Percival, Gordon Simpson. House Percival is a full-service law firm providing legal services to businesses, the government, and individuals. And you might be thinking, Chris, why on earth have you brought on someone in the legal world to your social media show? Well, today you're going to realize why. Gordon, welcome along. You've had quite the LinkedIn journey over the years, and from more of a passive user, perhaps, to someone that really leverages the platform. What made you see LinkedIn's potential, and why should other leaders follow suit like yourself?
Yeah, hi Chris, thanks for getting me on. And I think the clue's in the t-shirt. I put this on especially because I thought we might just touch on seagulls. Yeah, my journey on LinkedIn has very much been broken down into kind of a pre-seagull moment and a post-seagull moment. If you don't know what I'm referring to, last year I kind of got attacked in the car park of our offices, and this seagull had been attacking people all day, swooping down. And my colleagues were videoing as I was going out to my car. And it's about a 7-second video of them in absolute hysterics at me going out to the car. So, and Laura, to be fair to her, she just sent it to me as a bit of a laugh. And I posted it internally just to kind of make a joke about what supportive colleagues we've got and stuff. And for those who haven't seen it, and you could just hear people laughing around the office and things. And the great thing is about LinkedIn, I'll pop it on there. And I reckon it took me less than a minute to do because the video was already created. Just a kind of sarcastic message about supportive colleagues. And it was out there. And you know, when the notification just started coming in, boom, 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 boom. And it just went absolutely nuts. And I think I'm not an expert on impressions and things like that, but certainly it got over 1,800 reactions, like loads of comments. I think there were like over 400,000 impressions. And it was just like, all right, okay, so there's actually something in this. And the number of people that were connecting with me on the back of that. And so I was definitely using it before. Don't get me wrong. I would use it if I was going to events or if there's various things that I'm interested in, like careers work, or if we're doing CSR stuff, and we run our own events, you might be promoting stuff. I might comment on other people's things. But all of a sudden, I've kind of got this bigger audience sort of thing. And I suppose that sounds like bigger. But, you know, there were more people kind of connected with it, and I just kind of started going on a bit more, and then kind of the more I got into it, I was just having fun, to be honest, Chris. If I'm absolutely honest, this is very much of, I don't believe in actually trying to do things to focus on the results. It's very much, I'm doing this because there's a good reason. I've got a message I want to get out or whatever. But then the feedback I was getting and the relationships that you start to build with people. It's quite a funny thing, LinkedIn, isn't it? The number of people I know now who I might meet for the first, second time, and we feel we know each other because of those conversations we've been having already. And I've got to the stage where I've gone from, you know, being quite nervous, and because as lawyers, I mean, like, we call ourselves professionals. And we're always saying to me, oh yeah, we're so professional and things like that. So, you know, it's quite alien then to be breaking down those barriers and going out and putting out a different side out to it. But actually, the more I've used it, and look, I don't just do LinkedIn, I network locally and things like I have done for a long time. We've got a brilliant network in Norfolk, but it's like a WhatsApp group with your business contacts, isn't it? And it becomes like and actually I found it so much easier to use now with that kind of mindset, because I might be sat on the sofa at home and I might have 10 WhatsApps from the cricket club or whatever, but in the same time you've also got your LinkedIn app, and that's got a few notifications coming through, and you're like, oh, so-and-so's thingy, and then you comment in and things like that. So yeah, I don't know if that's answered the question, but that's certainly why I've got more into it, and for those who kind of have seen some of the stuff, hopefully that fun that I've been having with it is coming across.
This is why I've got you on the show, Gordon, because you have said to me off air, and I'm sure you'll say on air at some stage, you're not pretending to be a social media expert. You're not pretending to be a LinkedIn connoisseur. But yet this kind of pre and post seagull moment for you, which is just absolutely hilarious. I think
it's hilarious in our house. Like my kids, you can imagine, absolutely batter me, but it absolutely also irritates them so much that some of their mates are like following me and commenting and like making comments and, oh, did your dad do any work? You know, he's always on LinkedIn this, LinkedIn that sort of thing. And
it's a mindset, Gordon, isn't it? Like, this is the whole reason why I wanted you on, and why I wanted you to answer that why question, because I see so many people in, I'll call it the more professional corporate space, playing it so safe and not truly leveraging LinkedIn and fulfilling the huge latent potential that the platform offers, which you've done as a thanks to, which I've now coined the seagull strategy. I tell that story to everyone. So, Gordon, what a way to open things. What about the starting steps, Gordon, for professionals out there that are a little bit hesitant to get started posting thought leadership LinkedIn content, or just posting any content full stop? What would you recommend to people to just kind of give them something to commit to LinkedIn, to start posting on LinkedIn and to reap the rewards of LinkedIn?
Yeah, I think, as I say, when I used to do it, I used to use it actually as a way of stalking, keeping in contact with your contacts and just commenting on their stuff. It's quite a safe way. And actually, I've had quite a few people say to me that if I put quite a bold post out there during November, I went out there quite big with some of the messages. But people were saying to me, "Oh, I really appreciate you doing that, because I can't do those posts myself, but I love being able to repost them and comment and things." So that ability to comment on other people's stuff. Someone comments on my post, I'm really grateful. You know, that's great, because I put plenty of stuff out there that absolutely bombs, and you're thinking, oh, why didn't that catch? So the fact that you just go out there and comment and interact, because you're still building those relationships. And actually, you know, relationships with people, it is a reciprocal arrangement, and that's not always about, you know, looking for referrals for work straight away. You know, quite often people just haven't got that currency to be giving you a job straight away, but they can still say a nice word about someone. You know, Cassandra Andrews releasing a book at the moment, just a great way of just saying, yeah, Cassandra, we know you're out there rooting for all the blokes, not your age, Chris, but older than you, but, you know, rooting there. We'll just give you a little plug and try and get that message out, because people are doing good stuff, and you can promote people without having to give them a job or anything. And it's that getting into conversations with people. And then as you start getting more involved, and people do this a lot, if you go into an event, just say, oh, I'm going to this event. If you're there, it'd be good to see you, because it gives you a head start when you walk in the door. And I love that when I now go into events. I went to an event recently. It was at the Big Debate.
Yeah.
And the day before, I think the Big Debate was my birthday. And the day before, I've been cooking Rocky Road. Well, you don't cook Rocky Road, but I've been making Rocky Road. And I was there I did a little post, because I knew I was going to this event the next day, about I'm making this Rocky Road for the team. I had the Rocky theme tune on, and I had a headband on. I was going to the whole Rocky thing. I was just having fun. But I was also saying, it's the big debate tomorrow, but let's have our own big debate about what's the best Rocky film. Now, there's no legal content in there, but it meant that when I got to the event, people were already smiling. James Groves met me with some with a birthday card and something, because I'd already put out a thing about Tonic's tea cakes or whatever. But you just got a little bit of things. So you've got a head start at the event, and then it just makes the event the next day fun. So it's just feeding into something else. No legal content there whatsoever, but you then get to talk to the people at the event. And then if there's any issues going on that you want to be talking about and things like that, the big debate is one of the big events in the calendar put on by Norfolk Chamber. There's lots of deep issues being discussed, but you've already got in talking to the people you want to talk to. So then you can get into those conversations that might be more business focused, because you can't just go around being serious all the time and having serious conversation, because no one will want to talk to you. So you've got to have a little bit of both.
Some great starting steps there, Gordon, definitely. I love the idea of just using LinkedIn to almost just lay the runway for professional events. I think that's great advice. I think using LinkedIn to just ask questions, to engage, to big up your network, and key members of your team, or, I think that's some really good steps there. And you've started to go a little bit deeper now into the geeky zone, Gordon, around content. And I want to ask you about this, right? Because legal content, I'll be brave, and I should be very brave to speaking to someone in the legal world. Legal content is generally complex, dare I say, quite dry, quite boring. How have you managed to keep your posts engaging while still sharing those valuable insights that you share on the platform too? I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, I think we're quite conscious of that. Some people do it really well. So I think you talk a lot about consistency. So one of our partners, Jamie Childs, is in planning. He has his 3 planning stories of the week, and he'll post those consistently every Sunday. And because people are looking for it and know that works, and therefore you kind of wheedle out the people who aren't interested, and that consistency means people come in. For me, I don't actually enjoy talking about the detail, the legal stuff. A lot of my work is actually people come with problems, and I've got to get to the root of that problem. And there's all sorts of legal areas. But I might do if there's something topical, like Liz Truss served a cease and desist letter on 𝗖𝗵𝗄𝗵𝗲. I mean, that was just an open goal for me, because I deal with those all the time. So you pick up on that sort of thing, but also you can combine the two. So the Traitors, when the Traitors was on, I don't know whether you saw a post they did about that, but it was just, again, I was watching it. And this is when you get more into LinkedIn. I'm not sat there constantly thinking, oh, what can I put on? But in the back of my mind, there is this part of my brain that's suddenly, the ideas part of your brain just is working in the background. I don't know if that's just the way I work or whether other people do, but so I might be watching something, but then all that ideas thing. And I thought, I'm sure we've got some cloaks upstairs, and the boys had some Harry Potter cloaks. So and we had a little lantern. So I'm there with my cloak on in the dark. It took me about 5. Normally my videos, I do them once or twice and just get on with it. But I'm trying to record, and I'm still absolutely rubbish at doing selfies and things like that. So I'm, the quality of my videos is very, very low. Well, there is no budget. So, but I'm trying to record this. And then you kind of go through that, and then it's like the big reveal, and then you get into talking about traitors, and we were talking about not everyone's employees are faithful. Some people then move and join, and how do you deal with that? So you're still bringing in the content, but you think the other thing I use is props. In the middle of the video, I might start with a serious thing, but then bring a prop in, and it's like a reward for the people who've listened to me droning on for. Because I go on as well. Sometimes, I know that it's better to do a 10-second video, but sometimes I'm still going 2 minutes later because I'm into my topic, or sometimes it is a bit technical. You've got a message to get, but you bring your prop in. One of my first videos of the year was dancing to YMCA with the YMCA Village People police helmet, because we just happened to have a police helmet in the house, as you do. But then it was a way of getting into, right, I've actually got a message to do about New Year's resolutions here, but I said my New Year's resolution also includes dancing in the kitchen. So, yeah, mixing it up.
No, I love that. I love that. And it's not often that I'm making notes whilst guests are talking, but I just need to come back to you on a few of those bits actually, so it's actionable for our listeners, right? I love what you've said there about jumping on trending subjects. The Liz Truss case study that you speak about there, ideal. The amazing thing is when you jump on trending subjects, your opportunity to go viral increases. The opportunity to reach more people increases. This is how you become a key person of influence in your sector. So a big tick on that. Well done. The next thing I love how you said, actually, sometimes I just don't talk about my industry at all. And you just have fun. You don't take yourself seriously, Gordon. And I just think that is brilliant. And yet another tick for you. And I love also what you've said around, you've now got this mindset where, because you've done the reps and you've posted so many times, when you're going through everyday life, whether that be in work or out of work, on or off the pitch, I would use a football analogy there, you're always thinking, this could be a really good bit of LinkedIn content, actually. So that comes naturally to you now, which I think a lot of people aspire to get to. So well done. I am a huge advocate for your low quality video. And actually, Gordon, you're a bit of a trendsetter here, because LinkedIn is now rewarding mobile shot, raw, authentic, non-polished content. In fact, most social media algorithms now are penalizing you for adding logos onto graphics and videos. So it's extremely advantageous. So I'm so pleased that you don't do loads of polished video, Gordon, and I hope that people take encouragement from that. And then my last
I'd love to tell you that was all part of a big master plan, but it was just
I know, but it's good. And my last thing I wanted to say is, Gate, we've just seen your prop. What you've probably, well, I don't know whether you think about it or not, you are so good at grabbing attention, Gordon. And I think when you say that word, it gives people the ick. They go, oh, I don't want to grab attention. But without attention on social media, you can't convey your business message. You can't sell products or services on social media. So I think it's just genius, Gordon. Whether you've accidentally done it or intentionally done it, it's genius.
Well, I think I mean, just picking up on something, I think it can be a strength, but it can be a weakness as well. Because if you are seen to just be the bloke who's wearing a seagull costume or whatever, yeah, because I can guarantee I didn't decide to wear a seagull costume because I thought, oh, that's going to get me more work. But hopefully people see it as that. No, that's a sacrifice he's made to try and promote an event, and it hopefully does then help promote. That was for what we did for the feed, but I also then try and balance it with some other stuff if I am messing around with some of the other stuff as well. And hopefully, I think if I was at the start of my career, I would probably be a lot more reserved about doing this. I think also it's an important message. If I wasn't actually doing my day job really well and looking after clients, you have to do that, and then you get the bonuses that you get the opportunity to do this. If I'm spending half my time on LinkedIn and I've not actually got anywhere near my targets, I can tell you that that's not going to be quite as popular around the partnership table as if you're doing okay on the other stuff. And then this is kind of like the cherry on the top. But I am quite lucky to work for a business that actually it gives you the freedom to do that. And, we talk about not following the corporate line and stuff. I haven't got, a House Percival branded seagull costume. This is, you're given the freedom to go out and market in your network and meet people as you see fit. And then if you get results on that, then. Yeah.
Or, of course, you could just outsource your social media. Anyway, Gordon, I do want to ask you about the benefits, right? Because I am quite conscious that business leaders, Norfolk and beyond, that are listening to this, watching this back now, they'll be thinking, well, Gordon's having a bit of a laugh. He's dabbling on LinkedIn and he's having fun with it. But tell the business leaders listening, Gordon, what have been the benefits to you personally and House Percival as a consequence of getting consistent on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So again, just to reiterate, I don't do it because I want to get results. The results come from the behaviors. For me, it's all about relationships. And the relationships I've built with people, my LinkedIn inbox now is just like 100 times longer than it was before, because before it wasn't very long at all. And it's got people, and you can be messaging people, you know, if you see stuff, yeah, comment on the thing, but also messaging people on there, a bit like a WhatsApp group, and saying, oh, I loved your post today, mate, that was really good. So you're really keeping front of centre with people, but not in a pushy way, not in a using that LinkedIn inbox to be selling to people, not saying, oh, I saw you on LinkedIn today. Have you thought about, you know, changing your will? No. I saw you on LinkedIn. Really good. Good to see you, you know, on the front of this magazine or at this event and things. So, but those relationships are what then promotes the comment. And don't forget, we put on loads of events. So I want people coming to our events, and then through that LinkedIn journey, people come to the events and then talk really well. You did an absolutely beautiful post after you came to one of our events and put that message out about, you know, what you got out of it. But people do that because they feel they're getting something in return. So it's never a bad thing, people going out and talking positive about it in a different way. But also from a personal point of view, when you're at an event and people come to say, oh, I really appreciated you opening up, really opening and sharing. Personally, you get a lot out of that as well, which is why you then keep continuing. But you've got to have that balance. You know, I've got a family life, I've got, you know, other hobbies and things. You've got to fit it in around that. I've got a busy job, but I think there are. And then you do get inquiries and things like that. But if some of it is, you know, when you're doing any networking, you're not going out with your shopping bag expecting to pick up work straight away. You've got to kind of invest the time. It is an investment. And the Seagull event wasn't even been 12 months old yet. So my journey is still in its infancy, maybe. And we'll see what else.
Gordon, you've shared one side of the coin. Let's go to the other side now. I want to ask you to open up about maybe some of the mistakes you've made on LinkedIn, perhaps when you first started on the platform, or perhaps in a very professional, legal way, you could share some of the mistakes that you see other business leaders make on LinkedIn, and you're like, don't do that.
Yeah, I think from my own perspective, just posting dry content, it's really demotivating. Going back to that billable hour concept that we talk about for lawyers, where you've got to try and see value, and then you pour all that time and effort into a post and it just bombs, and you see like someone's just posted something, you know, about is a pizza a calzone, and it just goes absolutely nuts and things like that, and you're thinking, so, you know, you've got to bring some kind of personal element to that. Personality point is the key for me. It's not, you know, we had a huge rebranding exercise, which is great for some of the things when we're out at our events, that we're at the B2B and things. That corporate element is really important. We do lots of webinars, big events. That corporate element and our branding for that is really important. But if it's me out there talking to people I want to talk to, it's about, you know, those personal things. And I've just noticed hugely that that's my experience on LinkedIn has just changed in so many ways since doing that. And then I kind of alluded it to as well, the whole sales. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not, and something I've tried to bring in is sometimes bringing in those calls to action and things. And sometimes I just get that wrong. You know, it's just how you bring in that call to action, and maybe, you know, more subtly bringing in your messages and things like that. But one thing I understand why people do it, but I just hate the whole, in October, we get our results from the Legal 500, and it just gets absolutely Legal 500. It just gets this dump of everyone saying, I've done this, I've done that, and you almost feel you've got to do it, because if you've not, then everyone will think that you're not on there or whatever. But it's drab content, and I'm sure people just, I don't know whether people think it's a good thing or a bad thing. And I'm not talking for the young people. The young people who have achieved something absolutely brilliant, really proud of their and things. But some people are just, you know, I don't know. I think those sort of things.
No, I love that.
It's just not my content, really.
No, there's loads there, Gordon, and what you've said is genuinely valuable, my friend. What you've described there's an analogy that I have robbed from a brilliant local businessman called Matt Sykes from Sales Cadence, amazing sales training business. And his terminology, which I'm sure he's stolen from someone else's, it's called weeing everywhere. We do this. We're number one. We are the best at we. And that's not about you. That's not about your audience. That's not about your customers. That's not about your network. And as soon as you flip that mindset for LinkedIn, yes, tell your own personal stories. Of course, do that. But say you more. Make it relevant to your network, your audience. Ask them questions. Put them front and center. And hey, you're allowed to celebrate your success. You're allowed to celebrate the fact that you're in that legal standing, right? But how does that translate to the people that will actually use you, right? How is that relevant to them? And so I think that's an important mindset to have. Gordon, we can choose
Mark's great, and he was one of the people I picked up on the calls to action thing, and he is great. He was also, I picked up on something he said, he was criticizing the word help, because I would have thought helping people is quite a good thing, but it's still that subjective where if you're saying, oh, I'm going to do this, rather than actually what are the benefits you can receive. And he's great.
Yeah, he's good. Gordon, we could chew the fat for hours, my friend. This has been stacked with value, and we might even have to do a round two. I've loved having you on today. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for leading the way in the professional space locally in terms of your LinkedIn content, because you'll be giving other people lots of inspiration. So kudos to you. Gordon, where can people do business with you? Where can they go to your brilliant local networking events?
The networking events, just drop me a message. Well, just message me on LinkedIn. That's the easiest way. And I mean, one of the things, if I'm going to give a quick plug, having said that, but it's about trying to change the mindset of lawyers always being there as a last resort, or the clock always ticking. Now it's all about seeing as an extension of the senior leadership team and just reaching out for no charge. We're not there. We want to know if we can help you in some way. If people have got problems, just stick a message in that box, and that problem is keeping you awake at night, we'll have got back to you by the next 24 hours to talk it through. And if you then need to take it further, great. If you don't, then you're on your way. But LinkedIn is a great way to start a conversation, and then we can take everything else from there.
Amazing. Everyone watching this, if you somehow don't know Gordon and you somehow haven't seen 𝗖𝗵𝗿𝗶𝘀, then go and connect with Gordon, enjoy his content, get connected, and go to his network events. Gordon, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Really enjoyed it, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
No worries at all. And thank you so much to everyone watching this live, watching or listening back. Really, really appreciate your continued support for A Coffee with Chris. Do feel free to get your comments in, respond to any of our social posts. I'm sure Gordon and I will be able to respond as soon as possible to any questions you may have. As always, a huge thank you to our charity partners, Big C and Blue Bear Coffee. And I will see you this time next week for another episode of A Coffee with Chris.